Mr. President, Mr. Provost, Madam Secretary, masters, deans, colleagues, friends, families, and most of all, women and men of the class of 2015. Welcome to this day. I know that I speak for those on stage when I say that we are enormously proud of what you, members of the class of 2015, have accomplished in your 4 years. Baccalaureate is one of the major markers of your Yale journey, and it serves as the closing bookend to the late summer of 2011 when you gathered in this same space for your freshman assembly. Baccalaureate invites you to pause during what is an exhausting weekend. So please, breathe it all in. Invest yourself in the solemnity of this moment of reflection. I now call on the university chaplain.
My sisters and my brothers, I invite you to join me in a spirit of prayer. Almighty and loving God, in the majesty of this life moment, we, your beloved children of different colors, creeds, generations, stories, and tongues, are gathered in this place as one human family, united in jubilant celebration. We are filled with gratitude for our families, friends, teachers, and guides. Their arms have sheltered us, their shoulders have boosted us, and today their hearts soar for us. Eternal God, it is you who calls us to our full humanity. As we celebrate our accomplishments, we are humbled and overwhelmed by what lies ahead. Let us continue to caress the beauty of your creation, and may our souls know true delight as we awaken to the wonder of our own unfolding lives. Through the unity of mind and spirit, hold us ever close as we seek to leaven your world wisely in the steadfast pursuit of your light and your truth. For this we say, Amen.
Send forth your light and your truth. They will lead me. They will bring me to your holy mountain, to your dwelling place, that I may come to the altar of God, God, my delight, my joy, that I may praise you with the harp, O God, my God.
You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven.
God is the light of the heavens and earth. The likeness of his light is that of a niche in which there is a lamp. The lamp is in a glass. The glass is, as it were, a brilliant star, lit from a blessed tree, an olive neither of the east nor of the west, whose oil seems to glow even though no fire has touched it. Light upon light. God guides whom he wills to his light. God makes parables for humanity, and God has knowledge of everything.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. William Shakespeare, As You Like It, Act 2, Scene 7. On this occasion, it is customary for the president to deliver a baccalaureate address and for the dean of Yale College to offer a few readings. And so I've started with a passage from Shakespeare's As You Like It, a play that lends this moment a note of fitting poetry and a fitting device, its 5-act structure, for thinking about these past 4 years and the one ahead. Exposition, rising action, climax, falling action. Here we have the first 4 acts, these past 4 years. But what of the 5th, the denouement? Let's figure out all 5 together with the help of some authors you may recognize. Act 1, freshman year. Soon after you arrived, you began to write a new narrative of who you were going to be, all while showing brave during moments of uncertainty, hoping that this place would become home. A recent alumna, Marina Keegan, Yale class of 2012, exquisitely captured these feelings in The Opposite of Loneliness. In the heart of a winter Friday night my freshman year, I was dazed and confused when I got a call from my friends to meet them at Est. Dazedly and confusedly, I began trudging to SSS, probably the point on campus farthest away. Remarkably, it wasn't until I arrived at the door that I questioned how and why exactly my friends were partying in Yale's administrative building. Of course they weren't, but it was cold and my ID somehow worked, so I went inside SSS to pull out my phone. It was quiet, the old wood creaking, and the snow barely visible outside the stained glass. And I sat down, and I looked up at this giant room I was in, at this place where thousands of people had sat before me, and alone at night in the middle of a New Haven storm, I felt so remarkably, unbelievably safe. We don't have a word for the opposite of loneliness, but if we did, I'd say that's how I feel at Yale, how I feel right now, here, with all of you, in love, impressed, humbled, scared. Act 2, sophomore year. In your second year, you secured your footing and claimed this place as your own, celebrating the good fortune of having found one another even when you might have been looking for more material things, even if secondhand things. As Spring Fling headliner Macklemore observed in Thrift Shop. Yes, I'm quoting Macklemore. I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is simply awesome. I was going to present an extended reading of the song, but then I learned the lyrics, and it's best we move on. Act 3, junior year. In your third year, you rose to leadership positions in your various student groups. And truly, what was the final tally? 15 organizations per capita? You also began to be alarmed by the fact that your time here was passing by so quickly. It was sometimes hard to notice how much you had changed, even though you knew the change was real all the same. Thornton Wilder, Yale class of 1920, understood as much and wrote poignantly about the passage of time in our town. Yes, the sun's come up over 1,000 times. Summers and winters have cracked the mountains a little bit more, and the rains have brought down some of the dirt. Some babies that weren't even born have begun talking regular sentences already, and a number of people who thought they were right young and spry have noticed that they can't bound up a flight of stairs like they used to without their heart fluttering a little. All that can happen in 1,000 days. Nature's been pushing and contriving in other ways too. A number of young people fell in love and got married. Yes, the mountain got bit away a few fractions of an inch. Millions of gallons of water went by the mill, and here and there, a new home was set up under a roof. Act 4, senior year. And finally, in this your senior year, you discovered that there was so much left to discover. In his poem, The Unexpressed, Walt Whitman captured this feeling of being overwhelmed by the endlessness of possibility. How dare one say it? After the cycles, poems, singers, plays, vaunted Ionias, Indias, Homer, Shakespeare, the long, long times, thick dotted roads, areas, the shining clusters and the Milky Ways of stars, nature's pulses reaped. All retrospective passions, heroes, war, love, adoration, all ages' plummets drop to their utmost depths. All human lives, throats, wishes, brains, all experiences utterance. After the countless songs, or long or short, all tongues, all lands, still something not yet told in poesy's voice or print, something lacking. Who knows? The best yet unexpressed and lacking. Act 5, what is waiting for you? Women and men of the class of 2015, what's next? How does this show end? You leave this world for a different one, and as you leave, we merely hope that you keep this place in mind. But I wonder, how will you remember it? What will it look like in your mind's eye? Will it diminish in size as you walk away? Will it shine through memory's haze? How will the meaning of this place change when you discover what is around that next corner? By way of denouement, I close with a selection from Colson Whitehead's Sag Harbor. My aunt sold the house a few years later. When I asked her why she'd do such a thing, she told me, I never went out there. What was the point of holding on to it? I was appalled, but you know me. I was nostalgic for everything, big and small. Nostalgic for what never happened, and nostalgic about what will be. Looking forward to looking back on a time when things got easier. She sold the house to that brand who keep it up, diligently mailing checks to the lawn guy and the guy who turns on the water at the start of the season, but who never seem to come out. They haven't done a thing to it, repainted it or anything, so it looks like it always did. When I walk by there now, I could be staring at a photograph of when my grandparents just finished it, them stepping out into the street to admire what they'd accomplished. Or the first time I saw it when I was a baby, aloft in my mother's arms, far away, then getting bigger and more real the closer we get to it. It looks like it's waiting. Class of 2015, many things are waiting for you beyond these walls, beyond these great rooms with their cracking wood and stained glass. Many things are waiting for you as the sun continues its fiery path, as the mountains shrink and the water rushes past. Many things are waiting that poets have yet found a way to fold into verse. Keep in mind, however, that we, the custodians, the groundskeepers, the dining hall staff, the librarians, the coaches, the counselors, the professors, the lecturers, the administrators, we are waiting for you as well. We are waiting here, excited to watch what you will become as you leave with every tool we could have hoped to have given you. So go forth, class of 2015. It is time for you to leave this Eden, whether you're off to San Jose, St. Louis, or Santiago de Compostela. Leave this Eden, hand in hand, eager to find what else awaits. Congratulations to you all.
My colleagues, friends, families, graduating seniors, it's really a pleasure for me to greet you today and offer a few words on everyone's favorite weekend of the year. So I've participated in the baccalaureate service as a member of the faculty, as a dean, as provost, but this is only my second time around as Yale's president. I've noticed over the years a charming Yale tradition, and I'd like to honor it today. So might I ask all of the families and friends here today to rise and recognize the outstanding and graduating members of the class of 2015. We're not quite done. Now, might I ask the class of 2015 to consider all those who've supported your arrival at this milestone and to rise and to recognize them. Thank you for doing that. I actually find this a delightful custom, and last year I even focused my baccalaureate remarks on the topic of gratitude. This year, however, I want to try something different with all of you, not because gratitude is unimportant on a day like today, far from it, and not because I'm personally some kind of ingrate. Capture the purpose of life after graduating from Yale in just a few words. What would I say? What would that purpose be? Could I articulate your life's mission as you leave Yale on commencement weekend, no less, while standing on one foot? Now, the phrase standing on one foot, as some of you probably know, derives from a story about Hillel, the 1st century BCE rabbi and scholar. He was asked to summarize the meaning of the entire Torah, the Old Testament, while standing on one foot. His reply, "What is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor." That is the whole Torah. The rest is an explanation of this. Go study it. Well, in trying to address the question, what is the purpose of life for a Yale graduate, I'm a bit concerned that I'll be vividly defining hubris while standing on one foot. After all, what does a university president know about such matters that you have not already figured out for yourselves? There are many perfectly fine answers to the question about your commitments after Yale. Your purpose in life might be to find work that is meaningful to you, a wonderful goal. Your purpose in life might be to find someone to love, nurture a family, and create the next generation, also wonderful goals. Your purpose in life might be a kind of long-term loyalty to those who have supported, inspired, and shaped you by making very, very certain that, as the song goes, time and change shall not avail to break the friendships formed at Yale. That's also a laudable desire. Your purpose in life might be to accumulate whatever amount of wealth would make you feel comfortable and secure. And despite what you might suspect, I'm not going to argue with that goal either. What I'm going to suggest to you today is that your purpose in life as a graduate from Yale is simply this: to improve the world. In the Jewish tradition, this is called tikkun olam, literally to repair the world. Tikkun olam is a theme and a phrase that has permeated American popular and political culture. American clergy, not to mention college deans and university presidents, tend to give so many sermons on tikkun olam that there is a joke about an American traveling to Israel to work in an orphanage. He is met by his cousin at the airport. After exchanging greetings, the American asks his Israeli cousin, "How do you say tikkun olam in Hebrew?" The idea of leaving the world an improved place is also captured in concepts from other faith traditions, such as Khalifa, the principles of succession in Islam, and the kingdom of God in Christianity. There's a Buddhist idea, too, that personal enlightenment and liberation is impossible until all humans are freed from suffering. Of course, the idea that improving the world can be an important life purpose has a relatively more secular tradition as well, from Scottish moral philosopher Adam Smith to community organizer and Nobel Prize winner Jane Addams. What I like about this proposal for life's purpose is that improving the world can be accomplished from within nearly any political framework. Repairing, healing, or improving the world, often captured in the idea of alleviating suffering, can be pursued from a liberal perspective. Develop social programs that encourage self-sufficiency but provide a safety net. From a conservative point of view, teach fundamental values in order to cultivate individuals of good character who make the world a better place. And even from a libertarian agenda, enable free market forces to reinforce good ideas and good behavior. In the meantime, live and let live. Improving the world can be embraced in so many ways. When you start a new business that employs people and contributes something new, you improve the world. When you serve others with great distinction in one of the professions, you improve the world. When you pursue an academic career in order to light fires in the bellies of the next generation of college or high school students, you improve the world. When you inspire others by creating a beautiful work of art, you improve the world. When you build a service organization and you listen to and collaborate with those you would like to help, you improve the world. I'm confident that all of you have walked past the sculpture of Yale graduate Nathan Hale, class of 1773, on the old campus 100 times, hundreds of times, in your 4 years at Yale. And most of you know his story as a spy for the Continental Army during the American Revolution. And you all know his final words: "I only regret that I have but one life to give for my country." But you may not know Nathan Hale's second most famous line: "I wish to be useful, and every kind of service necessary to the public good becomes honorable by being necessary." Yale's culture of service to others, of service to repair the world, is indeed legendary, and it's certainly centuries old. As the first official historian of Yale, Professor George Pearson, wrote, The horizons have rolled back, but Yale still believes in character and fair play, in the learning and teaching of truth. It remains, as it has always been, a nursery of scholars and a gateway to that life whose test is achievement and public service. I'm impressed by your sense of obligation. I'm overwhelmed by the organizations you have built and the activities in which you have engaged as Yale students in order to be useful and of service to others. They have the potential to improve the world. Many of you have contributed something new by addressing niches where very little light has been shined. But will these efforts be sustained after your graduation? Or are they merely lines on your resumes? Will there be progress or backsliding? Is Tikkun Olam ever actually finished? Is your work ever truly done? Improving the world is a difficult project to take on because, unlike so many aspects of your education here at Yale or of life itself, there really is no beginning, no middle, and no end. There's no bottom line. What may be most challenging is that even after a lifetime of work, further repair may be necessary. Maybe even more than when you started. My predecessor, President Richard Levin, who I like to refer to as 22, often quoted Rabbi Tarfon, "It is not your responsibility to complete the work, but neither are you free to desist from it." I trust the efforts to improve the world you have begun during your bright college years will continue in some way after you leave this place. Living a life of meaning and purpose helps others and inspires others, but also will bring you the richest kind of joy. So, women and men of the class of 2015, we are delighted to salute your accomplishments. Those that improved yourselves, those that improved your friends and classmates, those that improved our community, and those that improved the world. We know, of course, that these are not unconnected. Remember to give thanks for all that has brought you to this day. Go forth from this place with grateful hearts, paying back the gift you have received here by paying it forward for others. Find that part of the world that feels chipped or bent or broken, and commit yourself once again to Tikkun Olam. Congratulations, class of 2015.
May God bless you and keep you. May the Eternal One show you favor and be gracious to you. May the Holy One cause light to shine upon you and grant you peace. And let us say, Amen.